Welcome, veterans, family members, other badass, red blood Americans out there. You know who you are. I'm Albert Winks, badass veteran business owner. And on this episode of tips, topics, and bullshit, intent to file, which is a pay clock for you. So you hear me say this a lot: pay yourself first, then pay us. So pay yourself first. We'll talk about that. Make sure you are liking and sharing this. It may not be right for you right now, but it's right for somebody. I hear that all the time. People get on my calendar. Albert, I know you directly, but all my badass buddies are out there raving about you. So just want to let you know, it really does help. So please like and share. So let's talk about paying yourself. So if you're on your increased journey, even if you're at 100% already, there may be some money out there for you that you want to lay out this. I envision like a safety net, like when people are doing trapeze and there's like a little safety net there that catches some money. And I'll say it this way: my average client, when you go from 90 to 100%, basic family of four, it's about $1,500 a month raise. So multiply that times easy army math, 10 months, add a zero, you're looking at about $15,000 worth of back pay. It ain't fucking nothing. It's your money. And it's your money, by the way. We do not get into your back pay. That's predatory. There are many agencies or whatever out there doing that shit. We don't do that. So when you hear me talking about paying us, it's all flat rate fees. So whether you like me or not, you know, respect that about me, that we don't do that kind of shit. We don't get any back pay. And actually, I've heard of this, not to poo-poo on those kinds of people, but I'm gonna. Those predatory firms that are out there, you may not know this, but you're paying way more and you're getting a lot less out of that. I've seen some clients of mine come over from having used those agencies in the past, maybe starting out for free, maybe starting out with a free service out there, maybe doing it on their own, and then they go to a paid service that's got that predatory methodology to it, and then they come to me and they're like, "Holy shit, this is so different." It's so different, and it is. So that's why I say I'm a boutique of badasses. So anyhow, back to you guys. So intent to file, which is your back pay clock. And I try to say back pay clock more than intent to file, because a lot of times you guys, I know we throw so much at you because the VA process is so confusing. The VA wants you confused, so you walk away from your money. And so I try to stay away from the words intent to file. I say that very rarely. It's your back pay clock is what I call it. There's back pay clock, and then there's your filing a claim. That's where you guys get a little confused when you start tying those words of filing together. So I want to separate those. So there's back pay clock, and then you file a claim later. So back pay clock lasts a year. You can have these going all the time, and I'll tell you how to do that. So you can call the 1-800 number. So I'm sure my marketing guys, John and DJ, which you probably should see the little heads pop up, which is so fun. So John and DJ, I'm sure they're going to put this in here. You can call the 1-800 number, 1-800-827-1000. So that's the VA in the sky, as I call it. And when you call the VA, you want to do, if I can give you some basic guidance, I want you to do three things. First, I want you to remove any representative. I always get tripped up on that because I want to say representing. I want you to remove any representation you have. So you don't need representation. I'm not going to represent you. You don't need anybody doing it. And you never know what might happen. I joined a new American Legion, and I've been 100% permanent total for 5 years now. And somehow by joining a new Legion, they popped up as my representative, and I didn't know that was happening. I've had clients who said stuff like that too. So my point back to you is that there's the easiest thing to do is call the VA, the 1-800 number I provided for you. Ask them to remove any representative. If you don't have a representative, that's fine. You just don't need one. Then secondly, you want to have them start your intent to file for you for a disability increase. Let me put a little side note in here. You don't have to tell the VA anything about your body parts and boo-boo. So you're just going to ask the VA person, "Hey, can you please start me an intent to file for a disability increase?" That's all they need to know. That's all compliant-wise, all you need to share with them. And they shouldn't ask you anything about what body parts and boo-boos you're aiming for. So we'll come back to that later. So ask them to start you a fresh intent to file and for a disability increase. Now, there are different kinds of, I call them other monies. There's other kind of money out there. It could be a family money. We had a new family member. We had marriage. We had a divorce, that kind of thing. So I call that family money. And maybe those are out there, and we'll talk about those on another video. But what is important is that you have a fresh intent to file that can capture any money over the next 10 to 12 months or more or less. And you guys receive your back pay, which will pay for your journey and then some. So you'll see. So the third thing you want to do is, at a minimum, I'll show you where you can find that. You can find a receipt online. I'll show you how to do that, but you can ask the VA person to please give you a verbal receipt, and it should sound something like this. Yes, you've got one active is a very key word, one active intent to file with the start date of today. It expires a year from now. And so you should hear those dates and that kind of thing. So a way for you to find this online is you can go to your e-benefits, and this is going to sound weird, but there's a lot of layers to this. It used to be super simple, but now it's like 6 clicks or something. Anyway, you can go to your e-benefits, and on the upper left-hand side, when you're on your dashboard, you'll see the word disabilities. Further down, you'll see the words work in process. Yeah, work in process. Yeah, work in progress. One of those two. Work in process is what it says. Work in process. Click on that. You'll see these 3 or 4 blue lines, and those are folders. So when you click on them, they're going to open up. So the very top one says intents to file, and then it'll have like brackets around it. And you may have historically 3, 4, 5 of them, or 0 of them, whatever, it's fine. And when you click on that folder, it's going to open up. Inside of that folder is where your receipt is. And that receipt will say, just like I said, you've got one active intent to file, start date of whenever, and it expires a year from now. So what I tell all my clients is, if you're running into, hey, Albert, I didn't know about you. I just got married and I just spent a lot of money. I want to work with you, but maybe I'm a little cash poor right now, sort of thing. Totally fine. Here's what I tell all you guys. Pay yourself first. Now you've got a year, but we don't want to take a year. We don't want to create any more drama for any of us than what's required. So I would say, if you need to take less than 2 months to figure out your finances and all that kind of stuff, I know life happens, but this is your money. And there's a video that I did on this about that your time is your money, and you can't get those two things back from the VA. So just work, as they would say, smarter, not harder, slow to smooth, smooth is fast. So give yourself as much of that year as possible to streamline your journey with as little drama for you as possible. That's always our goal here. When I say our, that's me and my angels. I don't think I've introduced them yet, but you'll see them. They're the ladies that work with me. I've got 4 of them right now. So Albert's angels, come back to them later. All right. So intent to file, which is your back pay clock. So let's say that you are like a lot of my clients, maybe you're at 90% going to 100, and that's a $1,500 a month raise. Now multiply that, add a 0, so multiply it by 10, so you just add a 0. So you're looking at a minimum of about $15,000 back pay. Most of my clients are going from maybe further down up to 100% on their journey. And so you'll see that you may go from 70 or 80 up to 100%, and they could be significant amounts of money. Now, I know I'm telling you that the pay raise is $1,500 a month for going from 90 to 100. I've done other videos on VA disability pay chart, so link below. What else I can tell you about that? Other pay things, but I just want to talk to you about your back pay clock. So I'll say it this way too. My clients, what we notice is, you guys, when you receive your increase, even though you're monitoring, you'll hear me say this on our consult call, I'll tell you to monitor your e-benefit screen and your bank account. Most of my clients receive money in the bank before you got to see anything else. And good news is, even if you receive a partial payment, maybe it's a small payment, maybe it's a big chunk, either way, that's a really good sign that the VA is doing right by your back pay, and that the rest of your back pay money will come in within the next pay period. So within the next 4, dare I even say 6 weeks. So once you start seeing that money rolling in, that's a really good sign. I had a client of mine who was freaking out. He saw this like small chunk, and he immediately called the VA and was, I don't want to say chewing into him, but like, what the fuck? And where's my money? I know I started my back pay clock. And they're like, calm down. We're going to pay you the rest of it here in a little bit. And he did receive his money. So just calm down, folks. Just want to let you know that when you get your back pay clock started, as long as you follow my instructions, like I told you, I call it, you want to start and verify. So I always want to verify. Make sure you get your back pay clock started and you verify. So verifying is making sure you have a receipt. So if you're my client, I'll tell you a little bit different. I'll tell you to email that receipt over to me, but you'll see. All right, gang. Again, I know this one may be a little bit longer than usual, but hope this is very helpful for you. No human I've ever briefed has ever known all about all the money that I tell them. So, and it's your money, by the way. So make sure, again, you please like and share. You never know whose life you're going to change. Thanks, folks.